Hello and welcome to the Brand Equity CXO Lounge. Today we have with us a very special guest, Emily Ketchen, the Global CMO and VP of the Intelligent Devices Group at Lenovo. Welcome to the CXO Lounge. Hello.
Hello, so nice to meet
So
you.
lovely
Such
to meet
a pleasure.
you. Thank you.
How are you this afternoon?
Yeah, very good.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. Delightful to meet you in person.
Thank you for taking out the time despite your hectic schedule.
Happy to be here.
So, kicking off and getting straight into the thick of the action, how does marketing, that too with a tech brand, look like?
Marketing, I think today is requiring a lot more of marketers in general and certainly chief marketing officers as we really push forward for our brands. Now in technology, the pace tends to be much quicker. And so change is the constant. The landscape is evolving, the landscape is changing. And I think in order to be a good marketer in this space, you have to be able to keep pace. You have to understand the insights around your customers. And I think you have to be able to inspire teams today. So those are the two or three things I would say that are very important in technology today.
As tech marketers, do you actually see those waves coming in much earlier than the rest of the world?
I think as technology marketers, because the pace of technology is so quick, we have an opportunity to be on what we would call the cutting edge or the forefront of marketing. And what's so interesting, Prasad, is as a marketer in technology, you get to experience the fusion of both marketing and technology. So marketing today requires a lot more of a leader than just traditional marketing. Can you put a great campaign into the marketplace? Do you have excellent creative that is compelling and persuasive? The truth is today, you have to be able to do that in a technical environment. So when you think about a technology stack, so the software that you use to be able to communicate with your customers, to target your media, would be, considered the marketing technology stack. Along with that, though, as you know, goes the advertising tech stack and the customer tech stack and the elements of those ecosystems that mean that as a marketer, you actually have to be quite technical. And I think it's an advantage because we're used to being on the forefront. But the other element, I would say, that is extremely important for marketing and technology today is you are really seen as and have the opportunity to be the chief growth officer for the company. You are out there marketing products and services really sometimes before they're tangible because they're a little bit before their time. They're evolving quickly, and so you must know the fundamentals of marketing that we've talked about. You must be very comfortable with technology and what technology is to marketing. And then I think you have to be able to drive growth at scale. You have to actually create markets for the products and solutions that you're selling. So it's requiring a lot more of marketers than in the past.
Okay, and does this mean that, you're also donning the hat of the chief sales officer? Is growth the new name for sales?
I think it's a great question, Prasan, because as a marketer, I actually believe we are in service of sales. I think some marketers lean into other areas. There's nothing more important than your brand. That is at the center of everything that you do. But we are in service of sales. Are we driving the right levels of sales enablement? The right messages to the marketplace? In the context of commercial, for example, are we thinking about driving ABM or account-based marketing at scale to help our salespeople, to actually involve them in the process? It's a very collaborative process in the context of how it works. It's generally used in business to business, but it's a great way to draw sales and marketing even more closely together. So I think it's a great point. I don't know that we replace a sales organization. I believe marketing is in service of sales. And I firmly believe as the opportunity, for me to be the CMO also for our sales organization has shown we really have the opportunity to be on the very front lines of what our sales organization is hearing, how we work with them to do sales enablement. One of the things that we do regularly is account-based marketing. And it's very helpful for the sales force because you can actually get out there and communicate with customers and target customers and have a conversation with them, whether it's awareness, consideration, or preference, and get quite a bit of that work done for your sales force in advance, generating, good quality, warm leads that you can then pass to them, making their jobs a lot easier. So again, I think it's a great question. I'm not sure that it replaces sales. I actually think it's an opportunity to draw sales and marketing more closely together. And that is truly where the magic happens in a great marketing organization. Marketers are the voice of customers. And if we are not the voice of the customer, then who? So I think that's another very important element to draw into the dialogue around working with sales organizations and enabling them.
An excessive focus on measurement actually kills creativity, or that measurement muffles the voice of the customer. How would you react to that?
You've got the great questions. I love that. I think at the end of the day, great marketing is art and science. And you might hear people talk about that, but I really truly believe you have to have both. If you think of the science of marketing, it's really anchored to persuasion. And we both know that you can persuade audiences by using humor, by using dissonance, by using fear, uncertainty, and doubt, by using aspiration. So all of those, I think, are very data-centric because it's about how you mine the insights for data around your audiences. What's going to break through? So there's a lot of data and analytics in that, but you're yielding a great insight for the building of a great brief to enable great creativity. By the same token, you want to be able to measure that creativity and the output of that creativity because marketing is a massive investment for most organizations that doesn't show an immediate return. And that's the point. Building brands takes time. Over time, we actually do a lot of testing of our creative with our target audiences. For example, we market to Gen Z. I am not a Gen Z. I have 2 Gen Zers in my house, but at the end of the day, we will do quantitative testing. So there's a great example of how data and measurement can help you refine your message so that it breaks through to your audience. By the same token, having data around how your campaign performs enables you to be able to justify that expense and be able to reinvest. And it's super important because we're learning every time we put a campaign into market or change it slightly or maybe change the audience slightly, and then you report that data back, and it becomes quite an interesting flywheel that you can build off of as a good modern marketer. So I love the question, and I love the provocation. I actually think it's a bit of both, and great marketers have to be able to be fluent in both the language of great creativity, which is very subjective, as you know, and as we've talked about, but also real data that enables you to show the results of that. And look, if you make a mistake, good. You can learn from that mistake. I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. You don't make the same mistake twice, but that's how we learn. It's how we do a better job of breaking through and of being relevant to our audiences.
Brilliant. Okay, on that note, I would like to kind of slightly shift the focus to you as an individual. How do you keep pace with all that massive change that's happening all around us? How do you stay ahead of the curve, if not with the curve?
Yeah, well, I am, as a marketer and as a human, I am super curious. And I'm always asking questions. My team will tell you if you have, 30 minutes with Emily, you might need a bit more time because she's going to ask you a lot of questions. But it's not questions to poke, it's questions to learn. And so you stay ahead of the curve by being very curious, by generating curiosity in your organization, by being a great listener. People have great ideas that come from all kinds of different areas. I also happen to be in the field of technology. I've been in the field of technology since 1996, so for a very long time. And if you want pace and change, this is the place to be. I am very comfortable being uncomfortable because I can't know it all. I can't know where the technology is going to zig or zag or where we will go. What I do know is what is our brand's role in that narrative? And so staying on top of that and ahead of that requires me to be curious, to be a constant learner, to learn from those around me, and to take joy in that journey and really inspire people also to ask questions, learn, come up with great ideas. You have to have a thirst for knowledge, I think, to be great, because at the intersection of great marketing and technology is culture. And you've got to be able to speak in terms to your target audiences in a way that's culturally relevant to them so that your message resonates and means something.
Brilliant. Okay. And while you're listening, there's obviously a lot to listen to these days. So how do you then separate the signal from the noise?
The separation, I think, from the signal to the noise is based largely on experience. I have a lot of decades. This is where wisdom comes in and can be very helpful in the context of how you weed out what's going to be a fad versus what you really think has legs. Again, it's about doing research. One of the things that I did at Lenovo when I came, and just a personal story, is I noticed we had a lot of great insights, but we didn't have them all in one place. And so we put together an insights COE, or Center of Excellence, so that everybody in the organization could take advantage of this wealth of research, data, understanding of customers, understanding of technology, user experience, all of the different areas that touch customers, even in the context of our business units. When we're building products, what are the insights that drive us to build those products? So I think that wisdom helps, insights help. Sometimes great marketers have a hunch. Now, you will not succeed if all you have is a hunch, but that's also where testing comes in, and having a rich tapestry of an A/B test to test a hypothesis. As I said, we test our creative. We really pay attention to the results of our campaigns, and sometimes you learn more when you make a mistake than when you don't. We also have great agency partners. We have a great ecosystem. There's a lot to learn from. I'm a member of a couple of different organizations. That's really helpful. Birds of a feather. You're with your colleagues. You might not divulge anything very competitive, but boy, can they be very helpful. I have several people in the industry who I can call and say, what do you think about this? Is this a trend? Do we need to pay attention to this? So it's all of those different pieces in your own professional network that you use to validate and separate, kind of to your point, the signal from the noise. I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay. And also we have seen a lot of things evolve and then fade away. If I could give you a couple of examples, NFT, metaverse, though many believe it's still not faded away. Okay. Or say the entire thing of a cookieless world. So how do you as marketers, stop yourself being over-invested in an issue or a development?
There's a couple of different ways you can do that. One is you can see how quickly things trend and change. So NFTs are a great example. Elements of the metaverse are a great example. Let's talk about AI. I think there was a time when people thought AI might be one of these up-and-coming fads. And the truth is, AI has been around for a very, very long time. What has changed the paradigm is generative AI. And so you've got to know where it's just going to maybe be a passing blush or whether it's really going to be something that everyone is going to lean into. I heard a great expression once, which was, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. That is how it feels with AI, right? It is absolutely here to stay. It is absolutely not a fad. But I think being thoughtful and thinking about the best ways to communicate what those benefits are to our customers is a great litmus test. Could you really explain the benefit of an NFT to a customer? Maybe. What about the metaverse? Maybe. But again, it's all about calibrating against what you think will be something that is going to stick. And sometimes you get it right. We've all been there. We've all sort of bet on something that may have been a passing fad. But I also think that's where Culture has changed so much. Think about Instagram, think about influencers. Those are two areas that have an enormous amount of power over the ability to persuade and read the trends. Is it picked up? Is it not picked up? Is Gen Z paying attention? Are they not paying attention? Those are great ways to sort of examine what might be a fad versus a trend versus really the way forward.
Okay, the final question would be about, the shortening life cycle of products. How does marketing inject the Botox into products?
Aha. I think it's all about how you explain and share and create desire for that value proposition. And this is something we've been doing for years and years, but it's all about how you create a compelling argument about that particular product, why it's right for the moment right now, and also why there's longevity to that product, right? It really depends, again, on what it is that you're trying to do, what are your objectives, but that's a great way to do it. And one way, that I think about right off the top of my head is loyalty. Loyalty programs are in fact in place to make sure that you keep coming back for that particular product, or you keep being a part of that brand's way forward. That's a great way to keep that loop going and to, I love your expression, to inject Botox into the product, to keep it alive and to keep it moving forward.
Okay, and how do you at Lenovo keep doing this, about customer retention and so on? Can you throw a little?
Yes, we spend a lot of time thinking about customer retention. In fact, we use a methodology that a lot of technology companies use, which is called the RAD model, and it stands for retention, acquisition, and development. And it's how we look at our customers and understand where are they in their journey with us? What are additional opportunities for them to take advantage of? We are broadly known as a device organization, but we are rapidly moving into services and solutions, and that's very advantageous for customers. So it's about letting them understand where you are, but then also understanding their needs. So having wonderful services and consultative services is a very helpful way to get into what are customers facing? How are they addressing issues in their organizations? How are they future-proofing their technology? The more value you can add as a brand, the more retention you will likely see from those customers. Also partnering with customers, treating them with the utmost care, making sure that you try to stay one step ahead, really engenders loyalty. Being in it with them. Great services, great solutions, and great products mean we're here to make sure that you, as an organization, get the maximum benefit out of your technology.
And does this work better in the B2B space rather than the B2C space?
I think it's just different. B2B, you might have a longer standing relationship with a corporation or in the mid-market or with a small and medium business. The relationship isn't different with the consumer. Take, for example, our gaming products. In addition to having great gaming products, we have a great community for gaming. So what is happening in the gaming market? What is relevant and not? What are the upcoming trends? What are the hacks to make you a better gamer? So I think you have to think about it on all frames in the context of loyalty and really take each of those opportunities forward for your different customer sets. That's great marketing, is when you can do it across a very significant frame. And for Lenovo, our mission is to deliver smarter technology for all, and that really means for all. So I think that is something that is part of the ethos of the brand, and you've hit it on the head. It's as important for the consumer, the gamer, the Motorola customer who's got a brand new phone, all the way through to those larger enterprise customers, mid-market and SMB.
Lovely. On that note, thank you so much for taking out the time to join us at the Brand Equity CXO Lounge.
My
Thank you once
pleasure.
again, Emily.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a delight.
Thank you.